Rightio. Joining us today, we do have with us the NDIS Quality and Safeguards Commissioner, Tracy Mackie. So rather than going through the long introduction and all that sort of fun stuff, which I'm sure we're hanging out for, I might just get you to tell us a little bit more about yourself, your background, and also what your role is and how you come to be.
Thanks, Trevor, and thanks for having me on this afternoon. I guess I feel like taking up this commissioner role is something that has been a very long journey. So my brother, who is not quite 2 years younger than me, was born with a disability, and obviously I've been his big sister his whole life and been on the journey of what it means to have a disability and navigate school, navigate growing up, navigate entering the workforce, building independence, and all of those things along the way. As I've been, in my sister role, I've also had a career that's been in and out of what I would call human services. So I've worked in the disability space, I've worked in aged care, I've worked in child protection for most of my career. And it's a lovely opportunity to come back into the disability space and in such an important role that really makes a difference and ensures people are receiving quality services and supports, and that there's a bit of a safety net there through the work of the Commission.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting, I love that. I've got a bit of a personal story as well, as we just said off air before about various other family members. And I think it's really great if you can do something where you've got passion, you're dedicated, and you know what you do on a daily basis makes a real big difference. It's not box ticking as such. It's really about actually how you can positively impact people's lives. I'd love to just explore a little bit more with your role at the Commission. What is it that you do for the lame person? Not everyone's going to be as educated in regards to what you do and look into the ins and outs. So I'd love to explore that for the audience, please.
Well, I wish there was a 3-point answer I could give you to what do I do. Maybe I'll explain from the point of view of what I'm trying to influence and change.
Now, I would like to touch on the subject of Beth Spencer. Yep, right. Now, you know how Hope is always with Thomas and Douglas? Mm-hmm. Yes, well, you would never know Hope has a daughter called Beth anymore, because it's sad to see that Hope is more of a mother to Douglas, who is not her own biological child, where Beth is.
I think that's a bit unfair, Karen.
No, I don't think it's unfair. And it's like Hope is ignoring and pushing Beth aside. That's why I think it's so sad, which is true. She doesn't worry about Beth. You never see her with Beth. It's always Douglas, Douglas, Douglas. So in the future, what I would like to see, now I know Liam's a wimp, okay, but what I would like to see him go for full custody of Beth from Hope, because she doesn't pay any attention to him anymore. So I don't believe she should have her. And the reason why I say that is because, as I said, she has no time for Beth anymore and always cares about a boy that's not even her own. You know, she should split her love between both. Any mother would tell you they don't have favourite children. They split their love between all their children.
I don't think we have enough information to draw that conclusion and make that value judgment. I think, too many pieces of the puzzle are missing from this for us to be able to get all judgy on Hope's mothering skills or parenting skills. Beth hasn't been in recent episodes. Doesn't mean that Hope is less of a mother to Beth than what she is to Thomas. It just means that they haven't shown Beth much recently in the stills, because Liam hasn't been around. And
Mum rang me and said, I don't know whether you're still interested in sport, but there's a job at the ABC as a sports journalist on radio. Why don't you apply? I applied. They liked my tapes of my race calls. I got the job. I was there from 84 until 96.
Well,
so
I'll be damned.
So that's quickly how I got involved.
Do you know what I reckon got you in? Your bloody voice again.
Yeah.
It was your voice, because they would have heard your voice, not knowing that you would have probably known that your voice was as resonant as it was in a radio type way. But there they are going, hey, this guy can talk. And the way you just described the way you talked about that race call that you did.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It sounds smooth. It sounds like it's going forward. And so they would have said, this guy, he's got the right sort of energy we're looking for. And back in those days, it didn't matter that you didn't quite have the piece of paper.
the person in Singapore shared it with somebody in India, and all of a sudden there's a whole lot of people in India doing the business that this lady in Adelaide was doing.
Yeah, but there's a lot of small businesses
Yeah.
idea. But if you can capture it
Yeah.
and look at the bigger picture,
Yes.
look at what the people want, ask them, take the feedback on.
Well, what I want to ask you is, when you were managing and running the 5 or 6 different franchises that you were running, because they're run as a franchise,
Yep.
and we'll say the name, the Auto Masters. So you were in charge of the store.
Well, I know this one, we're going to ask it anyway. And as Kerry knows, why it's my favourite.
Yeah, your lover boy.
So I know Ridge is your favourite, but why is he your favourite?
Oh, he's the total package. He really is.
Please explain, because I'm not seeing it.
Neither am I.
I'm not seeing it. I'd like to get a tape measure around his belly.
When they brought that new Ridge in, oh, my heart. Oh, my goodness. My heart just sang. He's everything. Like, seriously. He's got the looks. He's got the charisma. He's talented. He's got that beautiful creativity. He's got a soft heart. He's passionate. He dresses beautifully. He's got such style. I'm a little bit worried about some of his emotional baggage with the toxicity and the 2 women and the 2 fro that he's done his whole life. But,
You can live with it because you like.
I think I could overlook that almost.
I would like to ask, Karen, you're not dreaming, are you?
Oh, no. Because I think if he met me, I would really be the change that he's been looking for.
I think
okay.
I think you're right. I think you're right there. If he met you, he wouldn't want Logan anymore, and he
No,
wouldn't want Dr. Taylor Hayes.
I'm the real deal, and I think he'd realise
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I want to ask you if you can share any memorable moments or storylines from the show, guest Karen, that you really enjoyed and liked, and
This is really tough. I really liked the friendship between Brooke and Taylor. I really thought that that could have been developed more. I was really sad to see that friendship go by the wayside.
I have to ask you though, did you think it was sincere on Taylor's part at the time, or whether it was just used as a ploy?
Towards the end, when they had the fight, I realised that it was very toxic. So I thought, no, Taylor was very naughty, wasn't she? And she's a psychiatrist. Come on,
And-
you would like to think a psychiatrist wouldn't be,
that desperate for a man.
Simon, you're from Nepal, and how long have you been in Australia now?
It's been 7 years now.
7 years.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in Adelaide?
I
Because
start.
you came
I
direct
can
to
directly-
Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like you were saying before, there's a lot of Nepalese people who've come to Australia,
Yeah.
and a lot of them now are coming to Adelaide.
You're right.
Yeah, so they've landed in Melbourne, Sydney, or other states, and then they realised that Adelaide's the best state to be in.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So now your business is Multi Dynamics, and it's a real estate company, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So you sell domestic properties mostly?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do the residential mostly.
Yeah, residential homes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
A home, land,
Yeah.
yeah,
And all-
residential.
Yep. Now, you're for those that know Adelaide, you're in Northfield, or
Yeah.
your office is at Northfield, and that up until recently, or recent years, was a big paddocks.
Yeah,
There was still big paddocks, and
Yeah.
right on the outskirts of the city.
Yeah.
Really not far from the centre, like
Yeah,
10,
you are.
15 minutes from
Yeah.
the centre of the city. There was big sheep paddocks and wheat fields. So it's quite interesting. That area was left like that for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And then the government said, okay, we're going to sell it off now, and we're going to allow people to subdivide it.
Absolutely, yes.
A business. It was a business for sale that you found.
Yeah, I can remember back in the day. Then it was. I can tell you, a $1 million loan was about $13,500 a month.
So it's a big step to go. Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna buy this business, ongoing business, and lease it off the government for a period of time, knowing that
Well, we own everything above ground.
Yep.
It's just the land.
the land. Yeah.
Yep.
So everything and the way is it really is it is national park. Is that what it is, or how is it work? It's so
Yeah,
close to national park.
yeah,
I don't know,
it's-
because when I've been there, I go, is this national park?
It
so
does
beautiful.
fall under the umbrella of that as well. Yeah, you've got the Blair National Park team oversee it, but when an element of the becomes a commercial operation, it's sort of up to us to maintain.
To maintain it, and,
Yeah.
and obviously you're trying to do everything you possibly can to keep the park looking like the park, being the park. But it's the joy that you see people have, and you've been the joy creator because you've watched families come and go, and they come back, and then some families actually stay. And I know that's what happened to Ben's parents, and then Ben stayed. And that's funny how people stay.
It's been a interesting journey. I've got to say, probably the last 5 years have been the most enjoyable.
Beautiful.
Even taking into account coronavirus, which was a challenge as well. But I think I've just enjoyed the people more. Our staff are wonderful. If you don't have great staff, if you don't respect your staff, you've got nothing.
But isn't that the culture that you're creating from the very start? That you're okay. You've got the responsibility of running the show and keeping the place moving forward as it should. But if your staff are loved and respected, and you have gratitude towards the staff that you have, that feeds the energy of the park. It feeds the energy of the people that walk into the park, and it's the vibe that's created when you walk in. And it's not a police state. It's a state of respect and enjoyment and fun. Everyone knows that they can't do what they can't do, and they can do what they can do. But when you feel safe in the environment to communicate, and you've got staff there that you can rely on and trust, what more do you want?
And it is making everybody part of the family, and that can be difficult.
It comes with its challenges.
It comes with its challenges because you've got we have this family-like environment, even though we're not directly related, but just work together, and it works really, really well. If you bring another staff member in, they have to fit into that mould, which can be...
Have I done the right thing? Have we got someone that we can actually fit here?
And so from my point of view, I've got to stand back and just see if it all fits in and make sure it works right. But that's sort of what you do,
At the end of the day, you're right. The people that are attracted to you, how many people can be? But at the end of the day, if they're willing to get in with the vibe and they're there for the purpose, whether they work or not work, I've always done that because in business, they might be there for a day, they might be there for a year, they might be there for life. You don't know, but they come and go. And if they are better people once they've said g'day, you've become a better person, they've become a better person. As the journey happens in life, we're not attracted or attached to the idea that we need to make people wrong. I mean, I've had to let people go in my journey in business, and often people come to me and start complaining and blaming and start seeing themselves as a victim of the situation.